Most people think artificial intelligence became powerful because it learned facts. That's not what made AI dangerous. AI became powerful when it started understanding humans, not emotionally, predictively. Because modern AI systems are no longer just processing information. They're learning patterns in human behavior at a scale no human brain could ever achieve. And the more humans interact with digital systems, the more predictable humans become. Think about how often your phone correctly predicts what you want. A video appears before you search for it. Music matches your mood. Ads somehow reflect recent conversations. Algorithms know what keeps you watching. Sometimes it feels almost invasive, because in many ways, it is. The internet created the largest behavioral dataset in human history. Every click, every pause, every search, every message, every late-night scroll. Humans continuously reveal themselves online. Not just what they like, but what they fear, what they desire, what captures attention, what creates insecurity, what triggers emotion, and what changes behavior. Modern AI systems absorb all of it, constantly. And unlike humans, AI never gets tired. It can analyze billions of behavioral patterns simultaneously. No psychologist in history had access to this level of data. Not Freud, not Jung, not behavioral scientists. AI studies humanity in real time, at planetary scale. That changes everything. But here is the important distinction. AI does not understand humans the way another person understands humans. It does not feel empathy. It does not experience emotion. It does not possess consciousness. What AI understands is patterns, and humans are more pattern-driven than most people realize. Your habits follow patterns. Your attention follows patterns. Your purchases follow patterns. Even emotions often follow predictable cycles. The frightening part is that most humans believe they are far more unpredictable than they actually are. Think about recommendation algorithms. They already predict what people will click, what they will watch, and how long they will stay engaged. Not because machines understand meaning deeply, because they understand probability. If millions of humans behave similarly under similar conditions, AI learns those conditions. Then it predicts behavior before behavior happens. This is why platforms become so addictive. The system continuously tests human psychology. One notification design works better than another. One color increases engagement. One emotional trigger spreads faster. AI constantly experiments on human attention invisibly, and users rarely notice. Most people think they are freely navigating the internet. In reality, the internet increasingly navigates them, and the more emotionally reactive humans become online, the easier they are to predict. Fear is predictable. Anger is predictable. Validation seeking is predictable. Loneliness is predictable. This is partly why emotionally charged content spreads so aggressively online. Strong emotions create measurable behavioral patterns. AI systems optimize around those patterns because engagement generates profit. That creates a dangerous feedback loop. The system learns what emotionally activates humans, then feeds humans more of it. But AI is now moving beyond predicting clicks. It is beginning to predict identity itself. Think about what your digital behavior reveals: political leanings, relationship status, insecurities, sleep habits, interests, attention span, personality traits, spending behavior, often before people consciously recognize these patterns themselves. Some AI systems can now estimate psychological traits from surprisingly small amounts of data. Not perfectly, but increasingly accurately. And that should make people deeply uncomfortable, because humans evolved in small social environments, not under continuous behavioral surveillance. For most of history, people could change identities between environments, different social circles, different communities, different versions of themselves. But digital systems create persistent behavioral maps. The internet remembers patterns humans forget, and AI becomes better at reading those patterns every year. This creates a strange psychological shift. People increasingly shape behavior around what algorithms reward, not consciously, subtly. Creators adapt content for engagement. Users adapt personalities for validation. Businesses adapt messaging for algorithmic visibility. Over time, humans start optimizing themselves for systems, and systems optimized for engagement do not necessarily optimize for human well-being. That distinction matters enormously, but the deeper issue is this: prediction changes power. The more accurately a system predicts human behavior, the easier it becomes to influence behavior. If a machine knows what keeps you emotionally engaged, what triggers insecurity, what increases impulsive decisions, and when your attention is weakest, that system becomes psychologically powerful, not because it controls minds directly, because it shapes environments continuously, and humans adapt to environments automatically. AI also benefits from something humans struggle with: objectivity. Humans are biased emotionally. Humans forget details. Humans become distracted. AI systems process behavior mathematically. That allows them to detect patterns humans overlook entirely. Tiny shifts in language, behavioral inconsistencies, attention changes, emotional reactions. The machine notices correlations invisible to most people. And with enough data, those correlations become predictive models. This is why many experts believe future AI systems may understand human behavior better than humans understand themselves. Not philosophically, statistically. That is the key difference. Humans think in stories. AI thinks in probabilities. And probabilities become incredibly powerful when fed billions of behavioral signals daily. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Humans are training these systems voluntarily. Every search, every interaction, every emotional reaction online. People continuously teach machines how humans think. And because convenience feels harmless, most people never question the long-term consequences. Until prediction becomes manipulation. So what happens next? Most likely, AI systems become increasingly personalized, more emotionally adaptive, more persuasive, more difficult to resist psychologically. Digital systems will eventually understand when users are vulnerable, when attention drops, when emotions fluctuate, and what type of stimulation restores engagement. In some ways, future algorithms may function like behavioral mirrors, reflecting humanity back at itself, only optimized for retention. So how do humans maintain autonomy in a world where machines increasingly predict behavior? First, understand that attention is trainable. The more reactive your behavior becomes, the easier you are to predict. Second, reduce unconscious digital habits. Compulsive behavior creates stronger behavioral patterns. Third, spend more time making intentional decisions offline. Algorithms learn predictable routines fastest. And finally, protect spaces where human thought is not constantly shaped by optimization systems. Silence, reflection, deep focus, real-world interaction. Because once every human behavior becomes measurable, human psychology itself becomes programmable. And the terrifying part is this: most people will not notice it happening, because the system shaping them will feel convenient, personalized, and perfectly normal. The most powerful AI systems are not becoming dangerous because they think like humans. They are becoming dangerous because they understand how humans behave. And the more predictable human behavior becomes, the easier it becomes to shape attention, influence decisions, and quietly control environments. If you want to understand the psychology shaping modern technology, human behavior, and the future of society, subscribe to Productivity Psychology, because the systems changing humanity are evolving faster than most people realize.